I want to say thank you to Eric Crudup for preaching last week. He did a wonderful job. I got to sit and listen to a sermon here at Waypoint, which I don't really do. Usually I stand up here and talk. So I got to listen. It was a wonderful blessing. So thank you, Eric, for that last week. It's also good for you guys to hear other voices than just mine, even if they are not as accustomed to preaching. It's good for the church body to hear from all the elders. And so I'm grateful that we have elders that will stand here and bring the word that's not just me. So definitely thank you to him. We then went to Disneyland. We drove Sunday right after church to LA and then went starting early Monday morning. And so I'm exhausted from my vacation. That's just how it goes. The boys' favorite ride was It's a Small World. They called it the boat ride because if you haven't been on It's a Small World, you get in this raft and a trough about a foot of water and it slowly pushes you through the different lands singing the same song of the same small world after all. And so by the end I was ready to be done with this small world. But the boys loved it. So it's been a good week, but a tiring week. So I'm grateful to be back here with you this morning. Oftentimes I try to begin with a humorous anecdote or story to help illustrate what we're going to get into. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't really work this week. So if you were here 2 weeks ago before Eric preached, we began to look at Christ on the cross. So we started in John 19 and we looked at Christ and his death on the cross. And then I left you and he was still on the cross. And he'll actually still be on the cross when we get done today. So sometimes in the church, especially in America, we always want to leave with positive, happy, encouraging things. And that's just not always what Scripture does. And so this week we are going to once again see Christ on the cross because of our sin. And that is a difficult truth. It's a hard truth to sort of sit in and experience and consider. But there's nothing, no other event that has ever happened in history that has transformed us more than that. And so we're going to sort of rest in that moment once again this week where Christ is on the cross. There's an amazing significance to the 7 verses we're going to look at today. And next week we're going to look at Christ's burial. And then in 2 weeks I'll get you to the resurrection. Which will be exciting and joyous. And that's why we celebrate Easter. But oftentimes in celebrating Easter we just let the cross be quickly passed over. We are grateful for it, but we don't want to dwell on it. But we are going to do that today because there is so much that is happening in these few verses. And so what that has done is made me wonder, why do people reject the cross of Christ? Right? Generally in culture, most of the people in America today, even around the world today, are not Christians. There are a lot, but not everyone. And the cross of Christ is something that most people reject. Right? Most people will say that nothing happened for them on the cross of Christ. And so it made me wonder, why do people reject the cross? And I think that's a good question to ask. But I thought maybe it's history, which if you were here 2 weeks ago, I told you that there are 2 very important historians from the time, Josephus, a Jewish man, and Tacitus, a Roman man. In fact, everything we know about the Roman Empire, so if you've seen any television show or movie about Rome, it came from Tacitus. Tacitus tells us that a man named Jesus died on the cross. Josephus, a Jewish scholar, Jewish historian who was not a Christian, tells us that this man, Jesus, died on the cross. So historically, it would be very difficult to say, plus you have the gospel witness that is a better source of document than any history document that we have of Christ, that Jesus died on the cross. So it's really hard to say that a man named Jesus did not die on the cross. You can, but you're arguing against a lot of history. So I don't think people reject it because they believe a man named Jesus didn't die on the cross. If they did, then they need to reject sort of any recorded history before like a printing press, right? And so if that's not the answer, then maybe they reject it because they don't like what it says about them. And I think that's the answer. Because the cross of Christ tells us something about ourselves that we don't like. Namely, that we need salvation. And the average person, the typical person, even even ourselves at times, in our pride, we do not want to admit that we need salvation, that we need mercy, that we need forgiveness. And the times that we do need forgiveness, we're like, you know what? Yeah, I need to apologize and say sorry to that person, but on a whole, I'm a good person. I don't need saving. And what the passage here is going to show us today is that there is a great need for forgiveness. A great need for forgiveness and a great need for cleansing. And so we're going to look at these 7 verses, and we're going to aim specifically at what John says in these 2 verses that Christ did to fulfill the Scriptures. Otherwise, we can really pass over these 7 verses and say, oh, that's kind of a weird way to treat a body after it's dead. Let's move on to the resurrection. Right? That was an easy thing to do. But John tells us there's significance in these 2 verses. And so we're going to look at the cross once again. If you were here 2 weeks ago, I told you that the cross was a symbol of the power of Rome. We played a game to see how many crosses I could find in the room on tattoos and t-shirts and necklaces. We found a lot. The cross, because we think that way, it's hard to remember that the cross was the capital punishment symbol of Rome. Right? It would be like wearing a noose necklace, which would be very strange. You think about it, or an electric chair, or a syringe of lethal injection around your neck. The average person would not wear that. So you would not find anyone in Roman days with a jewelry with a cross on it, because it was capital punishment. It was how they killed someone. It was aimed at the greatest amount of shame and humiliation possible. They were crucified naked, hung to die. Oftentimes, in our picture, we think about people on the cross way up high. But the Roman soldiers had to lift the criminal and the cross beam up onto the vertical beam, several hundred pounds. So they wouldn't want to lift them very high. So more than likely they were crucified at eye level, maybe slightly higher. But when you walked into Jerusalem that day, you could have looked Jesus Christ in the eye, because he was crucified right at your level. He was raised up off the ground, but not by much, just enough to kill him, but not enough to make it something other than shame and punishment. So in our fallen condition, we start to doubt the cross. We doubt our need for it. We don't like how it makes us feel. We don't think we need all of what Christ did for us. But what we're going to see today is that Christ accomplished 2 incredible things, that he died to fulfill the demands of God's wrath, and he died to cleanse us from our sins. So if you have your Bibles, John 19 is where we are. We've been in John for quite a while. We've got a little bit to go here. John 19, verses 31 through 37. If you didn't bring a Bible, there are Bibles on the ends of the benches. I'm going to encourage you to have a Bible, because I'm going to take you to some important Old Testament passages. And I didn't give Richard the slides because I want you to get used to flipping through your Bibles. And that's just the way it's going to be. So if you're upset that it's not on the slide, you can blame Richard for not making me do it. All right? So John 19, 31 through 37. Since it was the day of preparation, and so that the bodies would not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, for the Sabbath was a high day, the Jews asked Pilate that their legs might be broken, that they might be taken away. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first, and of the other who had been crucified with him. But when they came to Jesus, they saw that he was already dead. They did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and at once there came out blood and water. He who saw it has borne witness. His testimony is true, and he knows that he is telling the truth, that you also may believe. For these things took place that the scripture might be fulfilled. Not one of his bones was broken. And again, in other scripture, they will look on him who they have pierced. Right, so if you've been with us, you know what's been happening. Jesus went through these trials onto the cross. Pilate tried to put the guilt on the Jews. The Jews didn't want to be the ones who actually committed the capital punishment, so they had Rome do it. No one wanted to take full credit for it. They released a man named Barabbas instead of Jesus, who deserved to die on the cross. When Jesus dies, he says it is finished, and he gives up his spirit. And that's where we come to today, where Jesus is on the cross. And Well, what we find out really quickly is that Jesus is already dead. In the passage we saw last week, 2 weeks ago, where it says that Jesus gave up his spirit. Jesus died on his own terms. Jesus died on the cross when he wanted to. The cross was meant to kill someone by suffocation. That with the arms spread out wide, the only way to get air into the lungs was to push up on your legs that had been nailed to the cross in order to get enough room for air to come into your chest. And so over and over again, they would push themselves up. Eventually, their legs would give out, back would spasm, they would die of suffocation. It usually took a day, sometimes 2 or 3 days. But on this day, there's a problem. That's what we see from the Jewish leaders. They need to speed up the crucifixion, which is not the usual course of action in Rome. Rome didn't usually want to speed up the crucifixion. They wanted that man to hang on the cross for as long as possible. And you notice that they did it right outside the city gates. That was typical on main roads outside the city gates. That as you walked into a city that Rome was in charge of, you saw what happened if you went against Rome. That you would hang on the cross for days, slowly, agonizingly, pushing yourself up and down, with a nail for your foot and for your arms to get a breath. And eventually they would die. But Rome didn't usually just take them down right away. They would usually leave them for a week or so. Allow the sun to cook the skin, the vultures to come to start to pick it apart. They wanted anyone who walked by to know what would happen if they went against Rome. But on this day, there's an issue. They can't leave these criminals up. And so the Jewish leaders go to Pilate and they say, we need you to speed this up. We need you to break these men's legs so that they will die quicker. Because, and here's the ironic part, if the criminals stayed on the cross until the Sabbath, the Jewish leaders that sent them there to be ritually unclean, because it says in the Old Testament that cursed is anyone who hangs on a tree. And so if they allowed Jesus and these 2 criminals to stay on the cross until the Sabbath, which is the Passover Sabbath, a very important one, we'll get to Passover in a minute. If they allowed that to happen, they are ritually unclean. They could not take part in the Sabbath. They could not take part in the Passover meal. It's too late for them to go and be ritually cleansed in the temple with a sacrifice and a ritual bath. They have to get these men off the cross before sundown. They must be dead and off the cross, for the leaders of the Jewish religion are ritually unclean on Passover. And that's not an option for them. So in order for them to stay clean, they must speed up the punishment. And so Rome, on these types of occasions, knew how to speed up a crucifixion. I told you had to push up with your legs over and over again to get a breath in your lungs on the cross. Well, if you break someone's shins, they will not be able to push up. And so the Roman practice was to take a large iron mallet and go and crush the shins of the men on the cross. And in that moment, they would not be able to push up. They would breathe their last, and they would die. And so this is what is happening. The Jewish leaders say, we need to speed this up so that we can celebrate the Passover. We need to be ritually clean on the Sabbath, on the Passover, that God would accept our sacrifice. You see the irony there? The Jewish leaders of the day need their sacrifice of the Sabbath to be acceptable. They need their Passover sacrifices and life and Sabbath to be acceptable to God, so they must speed up the sacrifice. But Jesus, it says, they did not break his legs, because when the soldiers came to him, he was already dead. And John tells us in verse 36 that that took place, that the scripture might be fulfilled, that not one of his bones will be broken. So the first way we see the type of sacrifice that Christ has done for us is that he is the true and better Passover lamb. Now, some of you have been in church in a while and you know what the Passover is. Some of you might not, so I want to make sure all of us are quite clear about what the Passover is. You see, all the way back, in fact, 2 weeks ago in Genesis, if you just go to that next book, Exodus, it talks about Israel, the people of God, are in captivity in Egypt. They are slaves. Egypt will not let them go. The Pharaoh will not let them go. So if you've been in Sunday school before, you've heard about the 10 plagues, right? We tell our children about the 10 plagues because they're strong. I guess that's cute. And we get to the 10th one, and it's not so cute. The 10th one, God sends the angel of death to take the firstborn of everyone in Egypt. You see, each of the 10 plagues was designed to show Egypt that their false gods were powerless, and that the one true God, Yahweh, was truly powerful. It didn't matter whether it was the Nile turning into blood or the sun going dark. Each one represented an Egyptian god. That Yahweh was saying, I am greater than any of your false gods. And all the things that you think are God are nothing compared to me. The last one, the death of the firstborn. Remember, they think in Egypt that Pharaoh is a god on earth. And who's the next Pharaoh except for the firstborn son, the current Pharaoh? So the firstborn son is also God. Maybe a little bit of God in waiting, right? And so this death was once again, a sign that the Egyptian gods were not God. That only Yahweh was the true God. So he made a way to protect the people of Israel. He told them that if you take a lamb, a spotless lamb, and sacrifice it, put the blood across the door, death will pass over you. That's why they call it Passover. The death passed over their homes. But he doesn't just say that. He says a couple things very specific. In Exodus 12:5, it says that it must be a firstborn sheep. That you keep it in your house, you keep it safe, you keep it well. And then in Exodus 12:46, what John, the Apostle John is quoting here, it says, you shall not break any of its bones. You shall not break any of its bones. I imagine many of you have read the book of Exodus or heard the Exodus story, and how quickly did you pass over that one sentence? Right? We pass over these little sentences in the Old Testament thinking, that's kind of a strange thing to say. But in the end, all of these little details come together to paint the picture of what God had already planned to do on the cross. That is that Christ would be the true and better Passover lamb. That he would not have a lamb that is broken. In fact, God is saying, when you offer a sacrifice to me, you offer the best sacrifice. Spotless, firstborn, no broken bones. You don't take the sheep that's about to die and go offer it to God. You offer your best to God. Jesus is the true and better Passover lamb. If you were with us at the start of John, the Apostle John did not make a mistake when he was writing the letter. He was instructed by the Holy Spirit, led by the Spirit to write these words by God. And he's in John 1:29, another man named John the Baptist, looks at Jesus and says, behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. That's the same exact reference. He's saying Jesus is the true and better Passover lamb. That when his blood is shed, death that is due to anyone will be passed over. Not because you are good, but because the sacrifice has taken your place. Jesus is the true and better Passover lamb who takes away the sins of the world. Now the second detail of the sacrifice that I want you to see comes from verses 34 through 37. It says that the soldiers take a spear and they pierce his side, and blood and water flow. And then in verse 37, John tells us that this is not a meaningless detail. John tells us this is a crucial detail. So in verse 37, and again the scripture says they will look on him who they have pierced. He's quoting Zechariah 12:10. So if you have your Bibles, we're going to turn to Zechariah. There's two passages in Zechariah I want you to see. So Zechariah is not far from John. It's one of the last books in the Old Testament. So Zechariah, flip over to Zechariah chapter 12. It's right before Malachi, which is the last book of the Old Testament. So go to Malachi and then go one more. And then Nahum is right before it. So if you, not Nahum.
I got the letter.
I believe Haggai's right before it. Yeah. So if you get to Haggai, which is only probably a page long, we're not too far. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10. You guys are going to think I'm weird making me flip through all these verses today. But what I want you to see as we flip through the scriptures is that everything, see, oftentimes when we read the Bible, we turn to the New Testament right about here, and we're like, man, this part is awesome. I'm going to focus on this part. And this part is the weird part that the pastor thinks is interesting. Right? Now, I do think it's interesting because it is. It's important. Right? There's no detail in Scripture that God threw in there accidentally. Everything in this first half is meant, first 2/3, is meant to point you to your need for Jesus Christ. And for God's plan from the foundation of the world, that Jesus Christ would be the Lamb of God slain for us. So Zechariah chapter 12,
Come here.
verse 10.
Come here.
It says
You
this,
can sit with me.
and I pour out
Yes.
on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem
Come here.
a spirit of grace and pleas for mercy, so that when they look on me, on him whom they have pierced, they shall mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and weep bitterly over him as one weeps over the firstborn. In order for grace and mercy to come, we must look at the one who is pierced. But it doesn't stop there. Look at Zechariah 13:1. Right, it's talking about the same exact day. Notice the words. On that day, on the day that you look at the one who is pierced, check this out. There shall be a fountain opened for the house of David, opened for the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, to cleanse them from sin and uncleanness. Here's what's happening, because I don't want you to miss this. Blood and water flowed when Jesus' side was pierced. And some people want to focus on the medical fact that it's possible. And it is possible medically. It's possible biologically. And if you really want to get into that, there are books you can read. But John does not say this so that we will see the importance of the fact that it's medically possible. Right? Jesus walked on water, so what is physically possible is not what is primarily interested in the Gospel of John. So he's not throwing these details in there so that you know that a certain part of his chamber of his heart was pierced and another part wasn't. That's not the point. The point is that blood and water flow. So what do blood and water stand for? Water stands for being cleansed. To be cleansed at the Temple Mount, you went into a ceremonial bath of water on one side and walked out the other. You would be ceremonially cleansed by water. Water meant cleanliness. And so when blood and water flow on Jesus' side, the piercing of him means that we are saved from our uncleanness, and the blood means we are saved from wrath. So first, the uncleanness. I think this is one that is both easy to understand and something that we do not really care for in our world today, right? I would say that the average Christian does not think of ourselves as dirty people, unclean people. In fact, I grew up and came to Christ at a church called First Baptist Church of Nashville, Tennessee. I imagine if you close your eyes for a second and guess what First Baptist Church of Nashville, Tennessee looks like, you'll get pretty close. Huge room, giant organs, pews, just gorgeous, gorgeous building. And guess what every single person is wearing? Their Sunday best, right? You wear your Sunday best for God, because you need to be clean. And what happens is in our mindset, instead of understanding we wear our Sunday best because we've been cleansed by the blood of Christ, we think we wear our Sunday best because it makes us clean. It doesn't make us clean. We are dirty. We are tainted because of our sin. And so if you think to your sin, there's probably a moment in your life where you can look back you're morally unclean. You need salvation. And when we think that our Sunday best will get us there, we try to clean ourselves up. And with our oldest son, Adam, was 2, he was sitting at the table and he spilled some milk. I said, buddy, don't worry, I'll go get a towel, I'll help you clean up. No, Dad, I clean up. Throws his hands on the table, starts moving it around everywhere. It's flowing off the table. It's spread everywhere. It's all over on him. And he thinks he's clean. And that's humorous for us because it's a 2-year-old trying to clean up milk. He didn't cry at least, right? That's good. Some of you will get that later. But here's my point. That's what God sees when he sees us trying to clean ourselves up before him. He sees a toddler trying to clean up their mess and making it worse. Because the truth of the matter is there's nothing on our own power that we can do to completely cleanse us from sin. Right? If I said, you know what, this week, every time you sin, I want you to do something beautiful, wonderful, charitable for someone else. Even that would be impossible for the majority of us. Now, some of you are really wonderful people and probably don't sin as much as me, so it's a little bit easier for you. But can you imagine trying to make up for every time you sin? Every sinful thought that you just sort of dwell on for a second? Every bad motive for which you do a good thing? Now, the irony of that task that I gave you is that you are for a bad motive doing a good thing, another sin, so you cannot keep doing it. We are unclean. It is only by the blood and water that flows from Jesus Christ that we are made clean. That what Christ did on the cross, where the water flowed from his side, was proof that we are made clean by the fountain that comes from his side. Ezekiel, if you flip over a few more books to your left, Ezekiel's a prophet who writes a hard time in Israel. But there's a promise that God makes in Ezekiel, chapter 36, verses 25 through 29. If you've never read Ezekiel, it is a hard but a beautiful book. But in chapter 36, verses 25 through 29, let me give you another second to look there. God makes a promise. He makes a promise for anyone who will trust in him. So in Ezekiel 36, verses 25 through 29, it says this. Remember, I told you that water meant to be made clean. Yes? I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean from all your uncleanness, and from all your idols I will cleanse you, and I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put in you. I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes and be careful to obey my rules. You shall dwell in the land I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I will be your God. And I will deliver you from all your uncleanness. You see that? The promise made to Egypt in captivity, once again, is that God is going to cleanse them with water. And that water will give them a new heart, a new spirit. Of God, one of God's people means to be cleansed by the water. So what water is Ezekiel talking about? Some might say it's a ritual bath. That's not true. You could say that it's looking forward to baptism, but baptism does not make you clean. It's simply a profession that you've already been made clean. It only can look to the cross, where water flowed from the side of Jesus Christ for you and for me, telling us that we've been made clean. That we are cleansed from our idols, that we are clean so we can follow him, that we've been given a new heart. You ever say to a loved one or to your child or to yourself, just trust your gut? Right, so we don't use the word gut in Scripture, that's our word now. The word in Hebrew for gut, for innards, is heart. When it says heart, it means trust is inside your, like that feeling of trustiness inside yourself, that heart. He's saying, I will give you a new heart. The way that you see the world and make decisions and think and act, that thing deep inside of you that tells you what is right and what is wrong, I'm going to give you a new one through the water that was a hymn that it's called Rock of Ages. And there's this line in there. It's one of these just incredible lines of theology that some of you probably sang it in church growing up. I think we've even sung it here a few times. You might not fully think about what you're saying, but it says this. Rock of Ages, judge for me. Let me hide thyself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side which flowed, this is the part, be of sin the double pure, saved from wrath, and made pure. The author of that hymn is saying, the water and blood that flowed from the Savior's side, the side that was cleft for you and for me, is the double pure. It saves us from the wrath, and it makes us pure. And so that's the second part of the pierced side I want you to consider. The first part is that we are made pure. We are made pure by the water that flowed from our Savior's side. That his death means that our sin is cleansed before God. That he no longer looks at us and sees dirty, filthy sinners, although we are. He no longer has to see us trying to clean ourselves up, because the only one who can make us clean already has. But the other part of this, the blood that flows. The blood is what saves us from wrath. You see, God tells us something in Scripture, that if you are a sinner, you cannot be in my presence. The only way for sin to be taken care of, for the wrath that is due to sin, read Romans 3 if you're curious about what that means. The wrath that is due for sin means all of us are due wrath because of our sin, is taken on the cross. Because Zechariah is not the only place the pierced Savior is promised. In Isaiah 52 and 53, it's a section of Isaiah called the servant songs. There are 4 servant songs. It's about this servant who will come and suffer for God's people. In fact, the servant is God himself who will come and sacrifice for his people. The Savior, the Messiah, is coming. It's the promise of Isaiah 40 through the end. In Isaiah 52 and 53, the pinnacle of these prophecies and promises of the Savior who will come, it says in 53:5, he was wounded, same word for pierced. He was wounded. He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace. And with his stripes we are healed. You see what's happening there? It's saying that our sin, the wrath and punishment that is due for us because we do the things that we are not supposed to do, and even the good things that we do for the wrong reasons, that all of those things, all of those transgressions are put on the Savior at the cross, that he is pierced for our transgressions, he is crushed for our iniquities, and the wounds that are put on him, the piercing wounds on the Savior, are the way in which we receive peace and salvation and mercy. And there's a very big difference between wrath and peace. The blood of Christ that flowed from our Savior's side is to show us that God's wrath has been fulfilled. That God's wrath has been satisfied. That at the cross, the water that flows from his side makes us clean, and the blood that flows from his side makes us right. Saved from wrath and made pure. He was pierced for our iniquities. He was crushed for our transgressions. What we deserve, the place we deserve on the cross, is completely and totally done. There's nothing else for us to do. There is no mess to clean up. There is no skill in us that is great enough to clean up the mess. It's already been done. But at the cross, all has been fulfilled. So if you're not here and you're not a follower of Christ, the simple thing for you to do is to trust in him. Right? If it's all done, if there's no amount of cleansing that will take away your sin, and if there is no amount of blood that you will shed that will take away God's wrath, then all there is to do is to trust him. And then when you trust him, as Ezekiel says, you will get a new heart, get a new spirit. It will guide you, help you to live in God's word. It will help you to rid yourself of idols. And so if you're here and you're not a follower of Christ, simply repent and believe. That's all there is. You can try to add some other stuff to it. God's not interested. He simply wants you to repent, to turn, to stop your sinful life, and to turn to try to look at looking you're going to be perfect. But it does mean you are going to be repentant. One of my favorite preachers is a man named Charles Haddon Spurgeon. He said this. He did an entire sermon just on the blood and the water. Just that one verse. Right? So if you're like, man, 7 verses, you can do a few more? You don't even know, right? We can take another year to get through the rest of the Gospel of John that way. But here's what Spurgeon says about this passage. He calls Christ the eschaton of shame. The eschaton is the pinnacle, the end, the completion of shame, the ultimate expression of shame. And he says this, the cross was that very thing meant to heap shame upon shame, pain, agony, and humiliation. If this death is so shameful, how shameful must sin be? Like, just think about that for a second. How shameful must our sin be if Christ had to die that shameful of a death? And so what that means for us, it means that when we look at the sin that is in our life, we see it for what it is. It means that we desire to put to death sin that's in our life. It means that we hate sin. Not because that our act of putting it to death or hating it is going to make God happy. We do it because Christ has already taken care of it. And if Christ went to the cross and died there, taking full shame and full humiliation and full punishment and full wrath, then we gladly say that we hate the sin that's in our life. We must hate our sin, but not live in guilt. See, it's really easy. We can say, we come to the cross and say, God will look at me and say, you are innocent, you are justified, you are not guilty of your sin because the punishment of your sin is taken on the cross. Right? God can say that. God can say, you are right with me because your punishment has been paid. So you don't need guilt. And so objectively, our guilt is taken care of. Yes, the guilt of our sin hung on that same cross. But you and I, because we feel bad about things, we have a conscience, we have guilt over our sin, we have remorse over our sin. But we are not supposed to live in that. Because Christ was victorious. I know it's going to take us a couple of weeks. Christ raises from the dead, if you haven't heard that part. And so we do not live in the shame and guilt of our sin. We set it aside, not because we are worthy, but because Christ is worthy. We live in the victory that's on the cross, not in the guilt of our sin. And the last thing I want to say is that there's this teaching that has become popular in America. You'll hear it in pulpits, or you'll hear it on television. And it says this, that the gospel is that if you trust in Christ, that everything in your life is going to start to do better. Things are going to turn around, they're going to be good, you're going to be healthy, you're going to be wealthy. That God's going to make you just have the best possible life you've ever had. But the reason that's a problem is that on the cross, Jesus had a criminal on each side of him. It tells us really quickly here that both their legs were broken, meaning that they would die quickly. What it doesn't tell us is what Luke tells us. And that Luke tells us that one man mocked Jesus. He joined in with the mockery. That was the common thing to do. If someone's hanging on a cross, you mock them as you walk by. The other criminal comes to saving faith in Jesus Christ. Now, if the prosperity gospel is true, if it's true that if you follow Christ, that everything in your life is going to be good, your hardships are gone, the bad things in life are going to be gone, you're never going to have anything bad happen to you, you're going to have tons of money, everything's going to go the right way, you're going to get that promotion you want, your kids are going to be great at sports and make a professional team because you trust in Jesus Christ, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The criminal on the cross died. They broke his legs. He breathed his last. And the promise of Christ was not, you're going to have a better life, my friend. You're going to come off this cross, and everything's going to start going away. What was his promise? Tonight you will be with me in paradise. It does not mean that you will be free from the hardships of life, and it does not mean you will be free from some of the implications of your sin. But it does mean that in eternity, when all things are said and done, that God will look at you and say, the blood and water that flowed from my son's side covers all of your sin, all of your uncleanness. And you are now mine. You are my child. You are mine. Let's pray. Father, I know it can be hard to sit and dwell on the cross and not try to make things easier or better. But we admit and confess that it was our sin that put Christ on the cross. We confess our sins to you. That though we know what we should do, we don't. So, Father, we thank you that forgiveness flowed from the Savior's side. That the blood and the water that flowed means that there is no wrath for us. It means that we are clean, we are pure, that there is no more rituals for us to do. So, Father, help us to live a life in response to that. That we would joyfully face whatever trials come. That we would joyfully say, I don't need to live in guilt and shame. Christ took it all. And that we would joyfully say, sin has no part in me. You would help us by the power of the Spirit to do those things. I pray this all in Jesus' name by the Spirit's power. Amen.